If you have a retrograde planet in your birth chart, there is a very good chance you have a special talent that most people around you don't have. So today, let's find out what hidden powers your retrograde planet has given you. Hello everyone, welcome to Astrology Chance. Before moving ahead, do you know what exactly a retrograde planet is? If we go by the literal meaning, a retrograde planet is a planet that is moving backward, but it's not actually moving backward. It only appears that way from Earth's perspective. Take a look at this image. Earth is moving in its orbit. The other planet is moving in its own orbit. But when Earth catches up to that planet and passes it, the planet appears to move backward from our point of view. The key word here is appears because the planet never actually turns around. It's just a trick of perspective. The Sun and Moon never go retrograde. Only Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto go retrograde. When a planet is retrograde, it is closer to Earth. And because of this, the qualities of that planet became much stronger and more noticeable in the people born during that time. To know whether you have any retrograde planet in your birth chart, draw your birth chart by putting your date of birth and place of birth into any online birth chart calculator available. Time of birth is not required for this purpose. If you don't know it, no problem. I have shared a link in the description to get your birth chart free of cost. When you get it, you will see a small R written along with the planet that was retrograde on the day of your birth. As you can see in the demo chart on your screen, it can be a single planet or multiple planets. Lunar nodes, as known as Rahu and Ketu, are always retrograde, so they are not a part of this discussion. Now, let's talk about the superpowers each retrograde planet bestows on the native. I am very sure you have not explored this before in astrology. This is the part most people never talk about. Let's start with Mercury retrograde. These people are naturally curious. You know, that person who keeps asking questions about the question, that's Mercury retrograde. Their mind is always running. They are excellent communicators. They notice details other people miss. They are good with numbers, good with words, and very good at catching mistakes, sometimes annoyingly good. You can show them a 20-page document and they will find the one typo hiding on page 17. And this is why they are nitpickers as well. If you are not doing something the right way, it bothers the hell out of them and they would love to correct you. But here's something interesting. As Mercury represents youth, I've noticed many Mercury retrograde people keep a youthful energy for a long time, very long time. Even when they get older, there is still something young about the way they think, talk, and interact with the world. On the downside, Mercury retrograde people are very likely to develop OCD. Next, Venus retrograde. Venus is the planet of relationships, and people with Venus retrograde in their birth chart care deeply about relationships. They don't just want connections, they want meaningful connections. They usually have strong social skills. They are good at understanding all sorts of relationship dynamics. These natives are good at maintaining relationships, even those that are not worth maintaining. On the downside, sometimes they can become people pleaser, but when it comes to understanding relationship dynamics, they are usually very talented. They also have a strong urge to be fair in their dealings, and they literally hate those who violate the principles of fairness. Moving toward Mars retrograde, one thing I've noticed again and again about people with Mars retrograde is that they are very energetic and competitive by nature. Their ability to focus on their point of interest is incredible. If they get angry, they don't waste their energy by shouting and screaming. Instead, they often channel it productively, like taking calculated revenge, and they never back off once provoked. Despite seeming passive aggressive, their anger is actually more personalized and deeper than you think. I've also noticed that a lot of people who are really good at sports, athletics, chess, strategy games, archery, or anything that requires focus and precision often have more retrograde in their birth charts. These people are good at hitting the target, they are good at staying focused, and their stamina is usually much better than average. When most people are tired, they are still going because of their strong willpower and determination. You can't scare them with anything. They are rather fearless and love to push boundaries. Now, let's talk about Jupiter retrograde. One thing I've noticed about Jupiter retrograde people is that they don't automatically believe what everybody else believes, especially when it comes to religion, philosophy, morality, or the meaning of life. In fact, many atheists, agnostics, and people who question mainstream beliefs often have Jupiter retrograde. These people usually have their own belief system, their own way of deciding what's right and what's wrong, their own moral compass. And that's actually one of their strengths. The second thing I've noticed is that lucky breakthroughs happen in their lives. Sometimes life looks average, then suddenly, boom, something changes. A promotion, a business opportunity, a financial breakthrough, a lucky turn of events. I've seen this happen quite a lot with Jupiter retrograde people. If you look at the birth charts of people who go from rags to riches, they often have Jupiter retrograde in their charts. And because Jupiter is also linked with management, these people are excellent managers, especially money managers. And another thing, they are definitely wiser than their age. On the downside, these people may have some sort of superiority complex, like, I can never be wrong, or I know everything, that's why I'm better than others. Now, let's move to Saturn retrograde. If somebody tells me that a Saturn retrograde person is careless, irresponsible, or takes life lightly, honestly, I don't buy it. Saturn retrograde people are the ones who carry the weight of life on their shoulders. Some Saturn retrograde people seem to suffer from martyr syndrome, struggling with the belief that they must constantly prove their worth through responsibility, sacrifice, or service to others. So, what's so special about Saturn retrograde people? I've seen some of the most hardworking people with Saturn retrograde. Also, their patience level is usually very high. Their tolerance level is very high. They can endure things for a very long time, longer than most people can, and they take life seriously. The downside is that life often feels heavier for them. Sometimes they feel like life has been unfair to them. Sometimes they feel like they have to carry burdens that other people don't. Also, these natives can be loners at heart. Now, let's talk about Uranus retrograde. These are usually the black sheep of the family, the different one, the unusual one. Even their family members say things like, this one is not like the rest of us. We are unable to relate to him. And honestly, they are right. These people are naturally different, not because they are trying to be different, but because they generally think differently. They are futurists. Their minds are often focused on what's coming next, future trends, future possibilities. And one thing I hear from Uranus retrograde people again and again is that they often get strange insights about the future. Sometimes they just know something is coming. They can't explain why, they just know. Their sixth sense can be remarkably strong. Many of them are naturally drawn toward astrology, occult science, metaphysics, or other unusual subjects, and they often became very good at them. One thing is almost guaranteed though, these people are not followers. They are not here to copy tradition, they are here to challenge it. Now let's talk about Neptune retrograde. These people are highly sensitive. And I don't mean emotionally sensitive, I mean sensitive to people, sensitive to environments, sensitive to energy. They can often walk into a room and immediately feel that something is off. Even when nobody has said a word, they pick up things that other people completely miss. They notice patterns, they notice vibes, they notice things that don't make logical sense but somehow turn out to be true. And one thing I've noticed is that Neptune retrograde people are usually spiritual in some way. Their spirituality may not look traditional, but it's there. Many of them report vivid dreams, meaningful dreams, sometimes even dreams that later come true. Their intuition is often very strong, and many of them have experienced things they simply cannot explain logically. That's why they often feel connected to something beyond the physical world. They can be good at astral or artistic pursuits and music. On the downside, they are more prone to addictions than others. And finally, Pluto retrograde. You can never fool these people. Why? Because Pluto retrograde people naturally read between the lines. They don't accept things at the face value. If you tell them a story, they are already wondering what part you left out. If you tell them you're fine, they are already trying to figure out why you don't sound fine. There is natural investigator living inside these people, a natural detective, a natural psychologist. They are always looking beneath the surface, always trying to figure out the truth. And because of that, they are surprisingly difficult to deceive. They notice lies, they notice hidden motives, they notice danger signs, and they often sense trouble before other people do. Their minds naturally move toward depth, toward truth, toward understanding what is hidden behind the curtain. And that's why many excellent psychologists, investigators, researchers, and truth seekers have Pluto retrograde in their charts. On the downside, they are more likely to be paranoid and suspicious of people due to their natural distrust. So, these were some of the special qualities I've personally noticed in people with retrograde planets. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others. And I'll see you in the next video.